If you're looking forward to a proper E3, an in-person E3 in Los Angeles, California, surprise, they decided to cancel the event again. The people behind E3, the Electronic Software Association, has decided to cancel E3 again. Despite everyone getting fats, masks, hand sanitized, nothing, nothing, nothing prevented them from canceling, and they canceled again due to variant hysteria. And as reported from Wario64, E3 shifts to online-only event again due to variant hysteria, due to ongoing health hysteria risk surrounding Coronagen and its potential impact on safety of exhibitors and attendees. Despite vaccines and masks, E3 will not be held in person again in 2022. As it reads from the actual article, E3 shifts to online-only event again due to variant hysteria. The Internet Software Association is shifting the E3 or Electronic Internet Expo to online-only event again due to concerns around the hysteria, despite the fact we have vaccines and masks, due to ongoing health risk and health hysteria surrounding Coronagen and its potential impact on the safety of exhibitors and attendees. Despite being vaccinated and masked, E3 will not be held in person again in 2022. The ESA said in a statement to GameSpeed, "We remain incredibly excited, about the future of E3. Sorry, it's dead, and look forward to announcing more details about a bullshit virtual con soon." That means the show will likely take place online this summer again, for actually the third year in a row. They actually had E3 in 2020 and 2021. This is the third time they had E3. They're going to have E3 online. As Coronagen concerns puts the June 2021 show into an online-only event again, and scarred the 2020 event entirely. What? They actually canceled the 2020 event entirely? That happened? As to clarify if there will be an online event, the ESA gave a PR platitude non-answer. "We are excited about the possibilities of an online event." Really? No one's watching E3. It's trash. Did anyone remember the E3 event in 2021? That BS glorified live stream event? It was trash. Absolute trash. And coordinate with our online panel from Take-Two about diversity and inclusion. Nothing about a new Grand Theft Auto 5. No news about Grand Theft Auto 6. No new games. Just this, because they got too much money from shark cards. The ESA Group, a trade group led by the gaming industry publishers, is everything being hysterical, despite being vaccines and masks, because of the huge burst of Coronagen outbreaks prompted by the Monarch variant, which is only appearing in people who are vaccinated. So the question is, what's the point of vaccine if you're going to get this virus anyway, and it's mild? The CES 2022 trade show, which is taking place in Las Vegas this week, has caused a lot of criticism for going forward in its in-person event instead of virtue signaling through virtuality signaling, despite the risk of being a super spreader event. Seriously, everyone's wearing vaccines and masks in CES 2022. While E3 is still months away and the current spike could be over by the time, the organization is amidst of signing up companies to take exhibition space, as it often takes months for companies to pull their booths together for the big show. Here's the problem. Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft are not doing E3 anymore. They got their own presentations. The larger companies, they got their own presentations too. You're just gonna get small companies and and some of the larger ones, so they can showcase their other games. They're not gonna showcase the bigger games. They have YouTube for that. E3 is dead. E3 is dead. Now, as I continue, which in normal times, draws more than 50,000 industry people and 15,000 fans in person to the Los Angeles Convention Center every June. Meanwhile, the Game Developers Conference is scheduled for an in-person event on March 21st to March 25th with heavy hygiene security. An email to GDC says it plans to move forward at this time. But in reality, they need an excuse to virtue signal how we care about the health and safety of people. In reality, from Mike Futter, he's heard from sources in mid-November, before the Monarch variant came at the end of the month, that the ESA has actually abandoned their dates for the Los Angeles Convention Center. And he knew that the ESA event last summer was not good. And publishers have learned that they don't need to pay exorbitant rates to the ESA to reach press and consumers. They got YouTube, they got Twitch, they got their own websites. They don't need E3 anymore. They don't need E3 anymore because they can show their presentations directly to the public. I mean, if E3 is not going to be in person anytime soon or ever, what's the point of going for the middleman, where you can go direct to consumer in your advertising? But in reality, E3 has the Internet Software Association has done this on purpose. They announced the cancellation, even though they canceled the event on mid-November. So they can virtue signal and to save money, because they realize it's cheaper to do a glorified live stream. I'm sorry guys, E3 is dead. It's gone forever. And if I will not watch their 2022 special, the Monarch special of E3. I'm not, and I have no interest in online events anymore. I already lost interest once I saw Otaku's online 2020 event. I was bored to tears, because it's not the same. It's trash. And so will E3 2022's glorified live stream. It's gone. No one's watching, and I'm expecting that E3 will go defunct after 2022 or early, depending on the economy goes. Now, before I finish this report, I've actually learned of an actual real reason why E3 has shifted to another online only event again. It's because of the shortages of the newer Xbox console and the PS5. It turns out that the real reason why they're moving to an online only event again is because the ESA cannot find any newer consoles for Sony and Microsoft to have their own play test booths. You know those demos that people and journalists can use to see how the game feels and plays. It's due to the government response to Corona-chan that is creating these supply line issues, the supply chain issues that has been ongoing since March 2020. And it's getting worse. It's getting real worse. And these shortages will last for at least 5 years. 5 to 10 years. So the gaming industry will be affected by this. And it has several implications. Several consequences that we may not be aware of. But that's a different video. And that's the real reason why E3 has canceled its 2022 event. It's because they already abandoned the event, and the fact that they can't find any consoles for the newer games. So that's it. Leave your comments below, give a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Try to take care of yourselves, will you?